In a remote conference room on the Trade Federation's flagship, Nute, Gunray, and Rune and Haako sat side by side at a long table, staring nervously at a hologram of Darth Sidious positioned at the table's head. The hologram shimmered with the movements of the Sith Lord's dark cloak, a patchwork of small nuances that the Nemoidians found themselves unable to read. The Sith Lord had not been summoned. The Nemoidians would have been happy if he had chosen not to communicate with them at all this day, but in keeping with the way he always seemed to sense when things were not going right, he had appeared on his own. Demanding a report on the progress of the invasion, he had settled back to listen to Nute Gunray's narrative, and had said nothing since. "We control all the cities in the northern and western part of the Naboo territory," the Viceroy was relating, "and we are searching for any other settlements where resistance—" Yes, Darth Sidious interrupted suddenly, his soft voice vaguely impatient. "You've done well. Now then, destroy all their high-ranking officials. Do so quietly, but be thorough." He paused. "What of Queen Amidala? Has she signed the treaty?" Nute Gunray took a deep breath and let it out slowly. "She has disappeared, my lord. There was an escape." "An escape?" The Sith Lord spoke the words in a low hiss. "One Naboo cruiser got past the blockade." "How did she escape, Viceroy?" Nute Gunray looked at Rune Haako for help, but his counterpart was paralyzed with fear. "The Jedi, my lord. They found their way to her, overpowered her guards." Darth Sidious stirred within his robes like a big cat, shadows glimmering within the confines of his concealing hood. "Viceroy, find her. I want that treaty signed." "My lord, we have been unable to locate the ship she escaped on," the Nemoidian admitted, wishing he could sink into the floor right then and there. "Viceroy!" "Once it got by us, we tried to give pursuit, but it managed to elude us. Now it's out of our range." A wave of one robed arm cut him short. "Not for a Sith, it isn't," the other whispered. Something shimmered in the background of the hologram, and a figure emerged from the darkness behind Darth Sidious. Nute Gunray froze. It was a second Sith Lord. Whereas Darth Sidious was a vague and shadowy presence, this new Sith was truly terrifying to look upon. His face was a mask of jagged red and black patterns, the design etched into his skin, and his skull was hairless and studded with a crown of short, hooked horns. Gleaming yellow eyes fixed on the Nemoidians, breaking past their defenses, stripping them bare and dismissing them as insignificant and foolish. "Viceroy," Darth Sidious spoke softly in the sudden silence. "This is my apprentice, Lord Maul. He will find your lost ship." Nute Gunray inclined his head slightly in acknowledgement, averting his eyes from the frightening presence. "Yes, my lord." The hologram shimmered and disappeared, leaving the conference room empty of sound. The Nemoidians sat without moving, without even looking at each other, reptilian eyes fixed on the space the hologram had occupied. "This is getting out of hand," Nute Gunray ventured finally, his voice high and tight, thinking that their plans for sabotaging the trade routes tax did not contemplate risking their lives in the process. Rune and Haako managed a quick nod. "We should not have made this bargain. What will happen when the Jedi become aware that we are doing business with these Sith Lords?" Nute Gunray, his hands clasped tightly before him, did not care to venture an answer.